Okay, so we looked over, how what the proposal should look like, what you need to do with that, the first thing that you're going to do. Here are some just basic writing apps, so we'll try to throw some Credo and Genesis ideas there. So in your first move, contextualizing the problem, you're starting off with Gen Ed IH. So what kind of problem is it, right? So you could look at it as a problem, of higher education, right? So there's different modalities in higher education. There's disciplinary education, there's professional education, along with general education. All three modalities are pursued at the university. You've engaged in classes that do all three of these things. So by comparing and contrasting these modalities, it could give you, some definitions of what general education is. The next question you want to sort of look at is, how is Gen Ed a generative enterprise? So how does Gen Ed do what it claims to do? Okay, so how is it a learning mechanism? And then again, compare and contrast with disciplinary and professional mechanisms, which tend to be less generative and more productive, informational, and abstractive. Think about how IH is a specific application of Gen Ed. So IH, what we do here in IH, we read a primary text. We read a primary text in a generative, general way. It's not a foundational, disciplinary way. And we do this via the seminar model. So that's IH, right? So how is that a generative enterprise? And how does that meet the goals of Gen Ed in general? So you want to consider questions of the primary text, right? That's what we do here in IH, versus the textbook, PowerPoint, and lecture, which are usually uh, what the disciplinary fields do. The primary text versus no text. This is largely what the professional schools or education modalities do, right? More experiential and applied skills pedagogies. Textualization, right? So what is the Credo-Genesis text? So in order to textualize it, you have to say, hey, this is what the text is about in 2 or 3 sentences, and then you have to show how the text is useful as an intervention into the problem that you're looking at. So you want to review the discourses of Credo or review the discourses of Genesis, which you're doing, pick one out, roadmap the text, talk about the parts of the text that you're going to use, okay? And then you want to, again, pick out your writing genre, right? And so this is important when you pick out the writing genre.